Welcome to Orsach lessons. Very quickly, we shall be looking at cells, the plant and animal cells. Cells are defined as the basic unit of life. You can as well say that a cell is a structural and functional unit of a living organism. Cells are referred to as the basic unit of life because of the fact that they possess and carry out the characteristics of living things such as movement, respiration, nutrition, adaptation, growth, excretion. They even have a defined lifespan. So now, take note that every living thing is either classified under unicellular or multicellular organisms. When I say living things, I mean plants and animals. Unicellular organisms are organisms that possess or consist of one cell, only one cell. Some examples are Paramecium, Euglena, Amoeba, and Chlamydomonas. Now, the multicellular organisms are more like the opposites of unicellular organisms. They consist of two or more cells. Some organisms classified under this are volvox, spirogyra, flowering plants, hydra, birds, including man. Okay, so now I will introduce you to the cell theory. There are about 5 of them. The first one states that the cell is the structural and functional unit of life, which is very, very true. The second states that all living things, all living organisms are made up of cells. The third states that all cells come from previously existing cells. This explains the concept of meiosis, where there is a division of a cell giving rise to more cells. Now, the fourth theory states that there is no life apart from the life of the cells. So basically, life is built up on the continuous development of cells. Okay, now the last theory states that all living things are classified as either single-celled or multi-celled organisms. Now let's explain the forms in which cells exist. Cells exist in 4 forms. They exist as an independent or single and free living organism. This category explains the unicellular organisms. Again, cells exist as colonies. They exist as filaments, and finally, they exist as part of a living organism. Now let's take their analogy. I call it the CTOS chain. CTOS chain. That is the cell to tissue to organ, then to system. CTOS chain. Okay, where the C stands for cell, T for tissue, O for organs, and S for system. Now, when a group of cells which perform similar function come together, they form a tissue. When a group of tissues which perform similar functions come together, an organ is formed. And when a group of organs which perform similar function come together, a system is formed. A system is formed. A system is formed. Now we have the plant and animal cell. The plant cells, for instance. This is the inner structure of the plant cell. Listen very carefully. There are certain structures that perform certain functions in a plant cell. Example, the chloroplast. The chloroplast here, they contain chlorophyll, which aid photosynthesis in green plants. That is the main function of what? The chloroplast. Now the cell wall. The cell wall provides protection, shape, and mechanical support for the cell. Very interesting. The nucleus. The nucleus is the main life itself. It controls all life activities of the cell. The cell membrane here. Cell membrane plays a great role in selective absorption of materials. Selective absorption of materials. The mitochondrion. The mitochondrion here is described as the powerhouse of the cell. They are sites of respiration, or where energy is released from simple sugar. Okay, very quickly, let's look at the animal cell. You see here the structure of a man. Of course, humans are classified as animals, but higher organisms, higher animals. Okay, here, this is the structure of the animal cell. Now, most of the structures here have already been mentioned or identified in the plant cell. So now, there are some similarities between plants and animal cells. Similarity is what they have in common, or what can be found in both of them. Like, let's have it here. Okay, now this mitochondrion can be found in both plant and animal cell. Cytoplasm as well can be found. So what you have here basically are what they have in common, are the similarities between plant and animal cells. So they can be found in plant cell and are as well found in what? The animal cell. Okay, very quickly, let's take a look at the nucleus. As I've told you before, that the nucleus is the main part that performs the main function in a cell, and it controls the whole life of a cell. So now, the nucleus is a structure present in both plant and animal cell, and it also controls all activities in the cell. Now, the nuclear membrane. This one is located in what? In the nucleus. It separates chromosomes from other cells. It also allows the absorption of proteins and other materials due to the presence of some tiny holes on it. So those tiny holes allows the absorption of protein and other materials. Take note that chromatin, we have it here. Chromatin, yes, here. Chromatin is a material that makes up the chromosomes of organisms, with an exception to bacteria. If we read further, now next video will show you why they mention that exception to what? To bacteria. Chromatin also contains protein, RNA, and DNA, that is ribonucleic acid and deoxyribonucleic acid. So the endoplasmic reticulum here, they aid the transport of materials within the cytoplasm. That is basically their function. The Golgi apparatus, also called the Golgi bodies, they function in synthesis, packaging, and distribution of materials. Synthesis, packaging, and distribution of materials. The mitochondrion. It is described as the powerhouse of a cell. As I've said before, they are sites of respiration or where energy is released for simple sugar from simple sugar. So we have the inner and the outer membrane. The inner and the outer membrane. Okay, so quickly, we've come to the end of this class. Very quick and straightforward. So please do well to subscribe to our channel so as to get notified when our new videos drop in, and always remember that your understanding is key to us. Thank you very much.